What it is, y'all, it's your boy Jones. And if you want updates to all the Jones of Sports content, I'm going to need y'all to.
Come on, push the button!
Yeah, come on, push the button!
Push the goddamn button!
Push the goddamn button!
You heard what she said.
Push the goddamn button. What is good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Jonesin' with Jones. And today we got a very special guest, my guy, Jason Calenzo. Did I say that correct?
You did. Yes, sir.
Yes. Jason Calenzo from the three. Wait, let me make sure I put up his stuff. We got to represent our guests out here, guys. That's what we do over here at Jones of Sports. Three from the.
Three from deep.
E from Deep, an NBA podcast. Thank you for joining the show. We are going to talk some basketball. We're going to talk a little football. We're going to have some fun with it. But make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, comment, and enjoy the show. So let's have some fun with it. Jason, start off letting us know who you represent in the basketball world, or as they can see some of it, but let them see a little bit more.
All day long, man. New York Knicks. Been a Knicks fan for a very long time. So excited about the season. I'm originally from upstate New York, so I am Knicks, Giants, Yankees, Rangers, big Syracuse fan, upstate representing. So, but yeah, basketball, Knicks all day, man. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. Same over here, as you can see. Let's start off right there from the Knicks. How are you feeling about us right now as we currently stand?
I got some mixed emotions. Now, fantastic win Friday night against the Nuggets, man. They just put the hurting on him. OG had himself a game.
Ooh, yes, he did.
But Brunson a little off, only 9 points, 15 assists. So not really concerned about him. Listen, Captain Clutch going to get his, but Mikal Bridges, that's a whole nother story. But the Knicks, we got to get consistent. We have some great wins, man. That was a great win against those Western Conference team. I love the win against the Spurs the other day. Beating up Victor Wembanyama is always nice to have. But then you go and lose, to Oklahoma City, missed a couple of threes at the end of the game. They had a shot. So just I need to see some consistency. We, when the got out of the All-Star break, lost to the Pistons too, didn't look very good there. So I want to see some more consistency. The Pistons make me nervous. The Celtics right now getting Tatum back, that really, really makes me nervous. So the East is going to be probably the toughest it's ever been in a very long time. So, but I like our chances. We play really good defense. We're up where I think we're third in scoring efficiency in the league right now. So, I mean, we can score the basketball, but it's gonna be defense. Knicks got to play that perimeter defense, hold the threes, and we can come out of the East.
Absolutely. Shout out to our number one fan, Janae, in the building, always showing love. Like, subscribe, donate. You guys know the vibes. But to go off of what you just said, I like how we've been looking as of late. Definitely, I would love more consistency with our play, but I'm happy, especially beating the heck out of Denver last night with Brunson. Kia, what's up, Kia? Shout out to our other number one fan, Kia Parlays. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to her. If you guys are into sports gambling, she does a great job cashing everybody out. So make sure you guys subscribe to her. But yeah, beating the heck out of Denver last night, that was very impressive, especially with Jalen Brunson having a bad game and someone else stepping up. That's what I, been waiting to see this whole season. And this second half of the season after the All-Star break, it looks like we're starting to get it together. We're starting to find our identity. Like you said, I would definitely like more consistency with it, but it looks like it's heading in the right direction, especially after what we did prior to the All-Star break when we were on a hill. Oh, it was just nasty. I was very upset with that. So very happy to see that we're heading in the right direction. Shout out to you, Kia. Absolutely. Um, but yeah, beating the Spurs, just completely beat belt to ass against them. That was amazing. I love to see that. Another great game from I know actually that was a Mikel game. He had a great
Yeah.
game that those Mikel and OG I think are going to be our X factors because they play both sides of the ball. They play offense and they definitely play defense. If they
Yep.
can be consistent on both sides of the ball. Maybe not having a 35-point game every game, but if they can give us anything between 15 to 20, 15 to in that 30 range, 15 to 30, I would love that. Like I'm obviously the 30 range is going to be a lot harder for them to do because they are playing both sides. But if they can stay between that 15 to 25, even I would be even happier with that. The Spurs, I mean the OKC loss, I was I was happy in that loss because we fought. We were down
Right.
15 in the first, and then we fought back. And it was another bad game from JB, but other guys stepped up, and we were a few shots away from possibly winning that game. So I'm not too upset with that, but like you said, I would like a little bit more consistency with that. But before we continue talking about the Knicks, I want you to shout out your podcast. Talk about your podcast, where people can find it, where they can find you on social media, and what time you guys record.
No doubt. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm on the Boom Broadcasting Network YouTube channel. So come check us out. My NBA show is 3 from Deep, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday and Saturdays at 12 p.m. It drops, but you can check it on demand at any time on the Boom Broadcasting Network. I also do Sideline Savants, a fantasy football podcast. I do that during football season. So I try to keep busy. And yeah, you got to check out Boom Broadcasting. We got a little bit of everything for everybody with sports, with TV, wrestling, you name it. We do some big things there on the Boom Network.
Dope. Shout out to those guys. Where they can find you on social media.
Oh, I'm on Instagram. I am on X. I am on Facebook. You can check me out. Again, Jason Calenzo. You can find me on there. So hit me up anytime. Comments, questions. Let me know. I am fully accessible.
Awesome. So make sure you guys, I will make sure I cut this up, clip this up, and put it out there for everybody to see so that they make sure they tune into your podcast. And definitely, I would love to be a guest to come on your podcast.
No doubt. No doubt. We're going to have you on soon, man. No doubt.
Absolutely. So, sticking to the Knicks, what do you think, outside of the consistency part, what do you think our chances are of getting out of the East? Obviously, this was a year that everyone said that we had the chance to get out of the East because of the injuries. But like you mentioned, Boston getting healthy, Pistons playing a lot better. And we had our struggles to begin the season, looking a lot better. But what do you give our shot? Give the Knicks a shot of getting out of the East.
I mean, they got a really good chance. We beat Detroit last year, so they're still young. They're still a young team. I know they're having a fantastic season. JB Bickerstaff, if he doesn't get Coach of the Year this year because he got robbed last year, there's something going on in the NBA. So a little worried about Detroit. I'm more worried about the Celtics. Everybody else, I think the Knicks can handle. We can handle Toronto, Cleveland. They're suspect because now they got James Harden, who Mr. Choke in the playoffs, so I ain't worried about him. You know, I'm not worried about Philly because the process ain't working over there in Philly. So right now, Celtics, Pistons are in our way. We know we can handle Detroit. Cade Cunningham needs to be up there for MVP. He's having a phenomenal season. What a turnaround. He went from basically being a first round to now he's an absolute stud. So shout out. He's got, put some respect on his name. But sure. I'm really, really nervous about them Celtics. Look, we got them last year, even with Tatum on the floor before he blew the Achilles out. We were beating them. So, I wasn't worried about them too much, but the emotion behind him coming back now, and as well as Brown has been playing, I'm more worried about the Celtics. Anything, but we got them. We've beaten these guys before. We've beaten the teams in front of us. We should win the East, no problem. We have the team, we have the bench depth now, we have the defense. We can create turnovers. We can hit a shot when we need to, offensive efficiency. So there's no excuses for the New York Knicks right now to not come out of the East.
I love that. I agree with everything you said. For the most part, to begin the season, when we were having our struggles, I was like, all right, I don't think we can beat the Pistons. But as of late, we've looked a lot better. Even though we lost coming out of the break against them, they don't scare me because we beat them last year, and in the playoffs that it's going to be a lot different because Cade pretty much runs that show, and when he's not having a good game, the rest of them are not having a good game.
Right.
So if we shut him down, we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine, even though that's what they pretty much do with us. They try to shut down JB, but we have the other guys to step up. I don't think Pistons outside of Duran really have those other guys that are really gonna take that next step and get them over the hump. I don't believe
Right.
in that. Boston, they're another team that I'm confident that we can beat because they've been having an amazing season. Shout out to them. Shout out to their coaching staff. Shout out to JB. Um, we've been, I think we've only lost to them once this season. We've been playing them well, even though now they got JT back. It's going to be a slow climb for him. He's not going to be the
Yeah.
JB that we're accustomed to seeing. Not until next season, or maybe even the season after that, because the word is that guys usually don't look good until their second year removed from an
Right.
ACL, Achilles
Right.
tear. So, yes, he's going to be good. He doesn't have to be great for them to extend and get to the finals. But I think somewhat he'll get in the way a little bit just because of the moment. It's the playoffs. It's the team that he went down against.
Right.
So he's going to want to try harder, and that could potentially lead to another injury. So I hope, crossing fingers, I never want to see players getting injured. But I think that will get in their way. And the Knicks, if we play consistent, like you said, and everybody's doing their thing, I don't think there's a team in the East that can beat us.
The big thing is physicality. That's what I really have enjoyed watching the last couple of years about the Eastern Conference right now is the physicality, that old school 80s and 90s basketball. Not showing my age, but that's what I grew up watching was physicality when the East was dominant. And that's what I love watching now. And I think that's what the Knicks, that's one of their strong suits. If they can hold teams under 100 points, limit the 3-point shot, keep them under 26, 27%, from three, that's perimeter defense, but be physical, push guys down, push people around. That's kind of what we did last year. We got physical with Detroit, and that's what ended up, breaking them. We tried to get physical with Indiana, but their bench was just too deep. Now we have a deeper bench in New York with Alvarado coming off of there and Shamit, and Diodara. You got guys that can come off the bench and give you that kind of that jolt. So we just need to continue to push people around and be the big dog in a ring. We can come out of the East. Don't let other teams push you around. That's going to be key.
Absolutely, I agree. Because one of the things that I was so frustrated with this Knicks team to start the season was the grit was gone. That New York grit that we've always been talking about, we've always loved about our team was
Right.
missing. It wasn't there. And that's what made me really nervous was that we might not be the most talented team on the court. We might not have the deepest bench, but one thing we're gonna play hard. We're gonna be physical. We're gonna have that grit, and that for some reason always just worked for us, and it always got us through tough games when we're down 20 and we come back. Like last season was just amazing, and I love to see
Right.
that. That's all because of the grit. So to see that come back in these last few months. I'm happy to see that a guy like GTA Alvarado, he's bringing that grit. He's physical.
Yep.
He's not scared of anybody on the court. Um, Sham, he's been having some amazing games off the bench. Big for us on from the three. I'm not sure what Deuce McBride's timeline is for him to come back,
Yeah.
but he's another guy that I would love to see get back and
Right.
be efficient. We
Right.
don't need him to do a lot. Just be efficient, and just not get in the way. But other than that, OG, like I said, Mikel, Cat. This is what I'll say about Cat. I've been
That's
up
the
and
guy
down.
right there, man. That's the guy right there. He got called out
That's
early in the season about being a twinkle
absolutely.
toes, about
Yep.
being soft. We don't need no powder puffs. Listen,
Yeah.
I grew up with Oakley and Larry Johnson, Grandmama, Aunt
Yep.
Mason. Let's go. I mean, they put you on the floor, and Karl Anthony Towns needs to do that, man. And I'm glad they called him out early in the season because I need to see some fire from him.
Absolutely. You can't be a 7-foot punk. You just can't, especially when you put that Nick jersey on. Like you said,
Nope,
you just
not at all.
one of those legends that were physical guys, and you have to have that when you play for the Knicks. Like it's in our DNA. So when there's times when he's down there and he's got a smaller guy and he's not calling for it, that frustrated the heck out of me this season. But as of late, I've seen him call for it a little bit more. The problem is the team is not getting him the ball as much in those times. So I think the team in general needs to do a better job. They got to, Coach Mike Brown needs to talk or figure out a scheme. Like, all right, when we get these matchups that we're looking for where Cat gets a smaller guard on him, we've got to get him the ball.
Right.
Like, that's got to be a point of emphasis. The coaches got to talk about that with the team. Like that can't be something that's just like look past. All right, we didn't get him the ball on that where we'll just keep playing our offense. No, when we see, especially in the playoffs is about matchups and who are you going to take advantage of?
Right.
That's exactly what they're going to do with JB. They're going to take advantage of Jalen Brunson because he's not the best defender. So they're going to do that. We got to be able to do the same thing.
Yeah, you got to watch that because they tend to double Brunson too. So you've seen a lot of losses in the Knicks have had this year where Brunson was having a bad game is because they were double teaming him. Even in that Spurs game that we just won not that long ago, we were down, I think 18 because in the first 3 quarters they were doubling Brunson. So we need that other guy to step up. But with Karl Anthony Towns, it's all about trust. Your teammates will get you the ball if they can trust you. So you got to develop that trust with them, whether it's in practice, whether it's, just off days, whatever it is, he's got to get that through their mindset. Like, guys, get me the ball. I'm bodying someone down. I'm going to put them on the floor and I'm going to put the ball in the hoop. Got to develop that trust.
Absolutely. I 1000% agree with that. All right. So now going off of the Knicks, what outside of the Knicks, who else in the East do you think well, we kind of already spoke about it. We said the Pistons or Celtics. So out of those two, who would you go with, the Celtics or the Pistons?
Man, that's a tough one. I really like what the Pistons are doing, bringing Detroit back to relevancy again in the East, which is phenomenal. They've been in the basement for way too long.
Their guy.
What's that?
Coach Williams.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. And so, but there's a bunch of teams. You got to watch out for Cleveland. Like, I can't sleep on them. I know I've been making fun of them, and I make fun of James Harden because like the beard can score 30 all day long in the regular season, and then in the playoffs, he's already on vacation. Like, and dude, you're playing the game. You're already on vacation. I still cannot forget the day. I think it was Game 7 when he was with Oklahoma City. He got knocked down, looked like Mike Tyson looking for his mouthpiece. Like that, he just has that. But you can't sleep on him. Mitchell, Cleveland is not a team to sleep on. So if I had to pick a dark horse to get a little nervous about, that can rebound the ball, that can score in bushels, besides Detroit, besides Boston, the usual suspects. Don't sleep on Cleveland because they have a squad there. And if they all show up, that's not going to be an easy out. I know the last couple of years they've had some, 60-win, team and then out in the playoffs, but they've had some injuries. So if they come back and are healthy, watch out. So Cleveland, my dark horse.
I like that. Cleveland's sitting at 39-24. They're fourth in the Eastern Conference right now.
Right.
Game and a half behind us. So 7-10 in their last 10 games. So they're doing pretty well. I think that's a great take. I like Cleveland as well. I'm not scared of them for the same reasons because of the James Harden choking and Cleveland just in general choking in the playoffs, no
Right.
matter what their record is. So, but again, they have the talent. The talent is there, and for
Yep.
whatever reason, if something were to get in their brains and their body and whatever for them to actually be good, Cleveland would for sure scare me because they have talent there. But
Right.
that's a great answer. Going over to the West.
Ooh.
Who do you like getting out of the West? First, give
Man.
me your Western Conference Finals, and then the winner of that.
Western Conference Finals. I'm going Spurs Timberwolves because right
Ooh, I
now,
like that. That's a good
right
one.
now, Timberwolves. Although they had a bad loss today to Orlando, Orlando kind of smacked them around a little bit, but they've been really hot. And Edwards needs to be up there for MVP. Man, he is playing out of his mind.
Yes.
That dunk the other day to two hand. Oh, just he's absolutely. And the dude's only 24 years old. That's what's
Yes.
absolutely amazing. He's still a kid. Like he
Yep.
literally, if he played 4 years in college, he'd just be coming out now. So watch out for the Timberwolves. But man, the Spurs when they are on, Victor Wembanyama is. I call him the Parisian Pillar. I hate Wemby. I'm not I'm big on the alien. I'm trying to get a different nickname for him, so I got the Parisian Pillar. So
I like
shout
it.
out Jones. I'm trying to throw that out there. We got to get Wemby a new nickname here. So Parisian Pillar, guys, spread the word. But dude, De'Aaron Fox, Castle, Harper. I mean, these guys. That is a stacked team. They're an efficient team. They play really good defense. And how the hell do you shoot a three over Victor Wembanyama? If he's perimeter defense, you're shooting over a guy, but his wingspan, you're shooting over a guy that's 12 feet freaking tall. So
Exactly.
the big thing is get Victor Wembanyama to play closer to the basket. You'll have some open threes, but that's my Western Conference final right now is T-Wolves Spurs.
Okay. For me, I really like that one. That's really good. I'm gonna go. I was going leaning towards the Nuggets, but they haven't been looking at that great
No,
as of
and they
late.
just lost Murray too, man. That's rough.
Yeah, so that really hurt them. So I'm gonna go OKC and the Spurs. I like for everything
Ooh.
you said about the Spurs. The funny thing is, I spoke about the Spurs earlier this season, and I said next year's going to be the year they're going to take off and they're going to be really good because they're young. Wimby is amazing, but I just don't think it's there yet. And then they just went crazy this year, and I'm like,
Right.
okay, maybe it's this year. I was a year late. So maybe it's this year. They're amazing. You just named all the guys. Just that system, how they run that team, that the way they play together. It's just really special. They're going to be a hard out
Yep.
anytime. I'm not going to lie. I was shocked. Not that we won because we beat them in the NBA Cup, but
Right.
to put belt to ass to them, I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
I was
Well, I
really
mean, Victor Wembanyama had an off shooting night, and especially from three. And I hate that he takes that many threes. I talked about this on my show before. That Wembanyama, it's great that he can hit the deep ball like that. But
right.
I grew up again with big guys. You play down low, you body guys up, you push them off, and you put the ball in the hoop. I mean, he don't even have to jump. I mean, you can tip lob him. I mean, whatever. But if you can
Absolutely.
shut teams down, perimeter defense, and make them shoot again, that game they shot 26% from three. If you can get them under 30% from three, any team in the NBA,
Yeah.
you can beat the hell out of them because if you live by the three, you can die by it. And I even though my show is called Three from Deep, homage to my man Steph Curry, but the NBA now just has fallen in love with the three, and if you fall in love with it too much, it can end up
Very
burning you in the game.
Absolutely. I 1000% agree with that. Um, And the reason why I picked OKC is because it's very impressive that they are still this good with um, Shea missing a lot of games. I don't want to say most,
Right.
but a lot of games this year. Their second guy, Jalen Williams, been out pretty much the whole season. He's missed
Right.
40 something games. And then they've had a Caruso. They've had a bunch of guys that have been injured, and they're
Right.
still the number one team in the league, the best record, still the best, one of the best offenses, still one of the best defenses. Like that scares me as a team to anyone that's going to face them come playoff time.
Well,
That
they
being
started
said,
off so hot. They started off super
they
hot
did
through the beginning of the season, though. Man, it was hard to catch them.
absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, they had a great start. But that being said, I don't think the Spurs are 2.5 games back. 2.5 games back.
That's nothing.
So it's not that far fetched for them not to have the number one seed. The
Right.
Spurs can get it. And then they just don't. They still are great. They just don't look as great as they did last year. So that's what gives me hope that all right, they're not unstoppable. They're
Well,
not
no one's
unstoppable.
scared of OKC right now. I mean, I know they're first in the West, but look, the Nuggets took them to a game 7 last year.
Mhm.
Indiana took them
Yep.
to a game 7 last year, and the T Wolves took them to a game 7. So, like, they weren't blowing dudes out the door. This wasn't some faux kind of thing. Yes, they are a great team, but I think the mystique has worn off. I don't think anybody is really scared of them right now. That's why I think it's going to be harder for them to come out of the West because the fear factor is not there. SGA is going to get his. Chet going to have his game. But yeah, like Williams being hurt and some of the other guys that have been hurt, a little bit of championship hangover. It's going to be hard for them to repeat this year, and it's going to be hard for them to really do a huge playoff push. They just don't have the fear factor in them right now.
Absolutely, it's definitely hard, and then we haven't had a repeat since Warriors, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yep.
it's definitely hard. Out of those two, you said the Spurs and the Timberwolves. Who is going to the finals to
Man,
play our
it's
game?
hard. Oh man, that's gonna be a battle. I can't wait to watch that here. You're gonna have the Stifle Tower versus the Parisian Pillar in the Western Conference Finals. I want to see that right now. The two French guys going on it here, gonna slap each other with gloves and stuff. Got to go with the Spurs, man. I'm giving them the nod. I think they are just way too deep. If Victor Wembanyama plays like he can play, it's over. Their defense is really good. That bench is good. De'Aaron Fox can light you up for 35, 40 points when he needs to. There's some muscle memory with him, at least in the playoffs. And that's the only thing I worry about with this young Spurs team is, when you get to the playoffs, you got to have some muscle memory of what playoff basketball is. And a lot of those guys don't have it, but De'Aaron Fox does, got some experience from, being in Sacramento. So I'm going to go Spurs. I think it's Spurs Knicks. I think it's Emirates Cup final. Let's run it back for the NBA finals. Let's go.
I love that. I love that, and I agree. I think I'm going with the Spurs beating OKC. They're going to the finals. I think in this playoffs, I think this is when we're going to really see Wemby, or what's the name you gave him?
The Parisian Pillar. Parisian
Parisian
Pillar.
Pillar.
The Parisian Pillar. Let's go.
The Parisian Pillar is going to take a next step. He's going to take the next level. They're going to really unlock him. And what we saw from him the beginning of the season when he was doing all those amazing dunks and just looking unbelievable, I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the playoffs. I think the Spurs smartly are still kind of taking it caution with him because of
Yep.
the injury history. So, which is very smart of him. They're keeping his minutes down. I think in the playoffs they're going to start to ramping up and let him really unwind and go crazy.
Yeah, it's a great point, man. Yeah, they have been limiting his minutes here, which is perfect because that's what you want to do.
Yep. Absolutely. So I love that. So there you go. We got our NBA finals picks. Well, not our finals. Our who's going to be in the finals. And we will come back to this and actually will give you our final picks come finals time. We're definitely going to have Jason back on for that. Now we're going to move on over to the NFL, even though we're in the off season, because there is some off season things happening right now. Some guys have been moved around the league. So I definitely want to get your thoughts on that because you are also a football head like me. So first, we are going to start with Max Crosby is now a Raven. What are your thoughts on that? You being a Giant fan as well.
Yeah, that's of course being a Giants fan. I have some ill will towards Ravens. I got a lot of Ravens fans here. I'm in Northern VA, and a lot of my boys are Ravens fans. We're going to talk about that here, but I think this is huge for both teams. Very rarely do you see a big trade in the NFL where kind of both teams win.
Right.
Ravens, they needed a spark on that defense. I mean, their defense was atrocious last year. I think they were ranked 24th in the league in D. They only had 30 sacks all season. Their sack leader was Travis Jones. He had 5 sacks. Max Crosby had 14 and a half sacks last year. So right off the gate, you're going to get somebody that has an all-game motor.
Yep.
He is a disruptor. He forces fumbles. He sacks. He is a game disruptor, and Baltimore hasn't had that since T Sizzle. I mean, Ray Lewis ain't walking through that door, so they needed a punch. So they got a punch with Crosby, and I think that instantly helps that Ravens defense become relevant again because that defense was atrocious last year. I mean, Lamar Jackson, look, he ain't getting any younger. He is a phenomenal player. And right now, he's got the MVPs, but no Super Bowl. That's hanging on his back right now. And the only way he's going to be able to get there is to have a defense behind him because that's how Baltimore got to Super Bowls.
There you go.
Was a stout defense. So phenomenal pickup for the Ravens. I'm glad they got him. Shout out Boom Broadcasting here. And why? Thank you. I'm glad he went to the Ravens because I heard Dallas was in the mix. I would have hated if he went to the freaking Cowboys. So sorry, Michael Davis. I'm glad Max Crosby did not go. You a Cowboys fan? Oh man, terrible. But no, it's great that he went to the Ravens. I think that helps him out. And man, shout out to the Raiders. Not a lot has been going good for them here lately, but now you have the first pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
14 pick in the draft, and you got another number 1 next year. So to get 2 number 2s in a trade like this was a great pickup for them. So both teams won in this, but ultimately I think Baltimore, they needed it because right now that AFC is wide open. There's a lot of question marks up and down every team there. I mean, I know Josh Allen just got a little wide receiver there, but still questions in Kansas City, questions in Cincinnati, questions in Pittsburgh. So this was big for the Ravens.
Absolutely. I agree with everything you said. The Ravens needed this. It's been weird watching the Ravens defense the last few years because, like you said, like they're built off of their defense.
Yep.
That they've always been a defense first team. So to see them be this bad these last few years has been definitely weird. But now when you get a guy like Max Crosby, who you know is going to bring it each and every play, he's a guy that does not give up at all. He's going to bring that that Raven culture back to life because of that energy and how he plays. It's a great pickup for Baltimore. I know a lot of Baltimore fans had some mixed feelings. They were happy about it, but they obviously they wanted Buffalo. They wanted to see the Ravens get a receiver as well because Lamar hasn't had a number 1 receiver in a while or ever maybe. And same with Josh Allen. So I think the Ravens flock was looking down that way, but they should be happy because they know defense wins championships. So
I mean, look who won the Super Bowl this year with Seattle. The Legion of Boom Part 2. So I mean that defense. And if there's any personality that is going to be loved by Baltimore, the city, is crazy ass Max Crosby. That
Absolutely.
dude is insane, and I think they're gonna love him, dude. He's gonna come out the tunnel and just give them that kind of Ray Lewis. He gonna start dancing and shit. Like it's gonna go. They gonna love him there in Baltimore.
1000%. I agree with that. We just spoke about him. The Buffalo Bills finally giving their quarterback a number one receiver. DJ Moore is now in Buffalo. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that's huge. Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is like when that happened. I think he was in tears because now he doesn't. He finally has somebody that he can actually like count on that can catch a deep pass. He doesn't have to throw the ball to Josh Allen. Josh Allen doesn't have to run the ball. He doesn't like he's the whole offense for him to get an actual weapon. I think they need more. I mean, that's a nice piece. I don't think they're done. I think they need another wide receiver to help him out. Shakir, I'm still on the fence with him, but man, much needed. They haven't had anybody since a good Diggs was there in Buffalo. So Josh Allen definitely happy. It's still Buffalo's division to lose, man. I mean that AFC East. He's Buffalo is the juggernaut there. You don't have to worry about the Jets. The Dolphins are a shambles. The Patriots look good, but they can be beat. They're still pretty young. So for Josh Allen to get a weapon where he can close his eyes and throw the ball down the field deep, that's huge for him.
Definitely very huge for him. Like you said, I don't think it wasn't just Josh Allen that shed a tear. I think all of Bill's Mafia shed a tear.
Oh, Western New York crying.
All
Tears.
of Western New York is in tears.
Snot bubble, the whole thing.
No, then obviously that's what the doctor has been trying to get ordered for a long time in Buffalo, and it's finally arrived. So I loved it for both sides. I love it for DJ Moore even more because we know he's a great talent, and in Chicago, he wasn't being used because of all the talent they had already on that team. So now he gets to go and be his number one self with a great MVP quarterback. I love that for him. I love that for Buffalo. It's going to be hopefully it's a match made in heaven for those guys. But like you said, that there's more work to be done. Definitely more work to be done. The other big blockbuster trade that went on was the Chiefs have traded Trent McDuffie to the Rams. What are your thoughts on that?
This was an interesting move. Chiefs, again, tons of question marks. There is a lot going on there. Why the Rams? I don't know. I mean, the Rams are the Rams. Sean McVay, they're going to be there every year. They're pretty consistent. I think they just need to go out and get a quarterback behind Stafford. This way, when he's ready to retire, they got somebody can go in there. Their wide receiver core is ridiculous. Puka Nacua is insane. But I'm just lots of questions around the Chiefs right now. Why get rid of him? What are they going to do to get Mahomes some help? Their running back position is atrocious. It's crap. That's probably one of the worst running back rooms in the NFL. And you have one of the best quarterbacks. You can't get a running back. Wide receiver, tons of questions. Travis Kelce, aka Mr. Swift, what's he going to do? Is he, are you going to retire? What's going on there? So, Chiefs, this trade just opens up Pandora's box on, man, is the Chiefs dynasty over? Are they going to start just kind of unloading a bunch of guys and then just retooling and reloading? So it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the offseason. Lots of crazy things going on out there. I hear, Mr. Hill, Tyreek Hill, of course, has been freed. So can you see a reunion there? Again, they need a running back. Tons of running backs in free agency right now with Walker the third out there and Uncle Rico Dowdle out there too. So they go out and get a free agent running back. So this just opened up more questions on the KC side rather than just with the Ram side.
starting with the Rams, I like it for the Rams, especially because that was their weak side on the defense. Their defense hasn't been looking as great as they were the last few seasons.
No.
And like I said, the biggest problem was their corners. So I love getting it because Trent McDuffie is a great corner, slot corner for them. And I feel like the Rams are like, look, we got one, possibly two, but most likely just one more year left with Stafford. We were very close to getting to the Super Bowl, got to the NFC Championship, and lost by a few points, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They have their shot. They want to get their shot, and they're trying to put the right pieces around them. So I'm not mad at them for that. The Chiefs side, this is what they do. They they draft well when it comes to the corners because they've been having some really good corners. And then when
Mhm.
it's time to pay them, they get rid of them. And I guess that's because they know they can draft well at that corner position. So um, I had mixed feelings about this one. I'm like, based on what your Chiefs look like right now, you might want to keep a guy like that. So you guys, because
Right.
you guys have been struggling the last few seasons. But I also understand it as far as what they got in return. They got a this year's first round pick, the 29th overall. They got a fifth round pick this year and a sixth round and a 27th third round pick. So I think they're starting to fuel up picks either for that running back or for the future
Right.
going forward. So I'm not too upset with it, but I definitely understand the confusion on why they would get rid of a guy like McDuffie, especially when they need the help. But their defense is still pretty solid, and I think they're going to draft well at that corner position because that's just what the history shows that they've been really good at drafting that position, and then they get rid of them. So I'm not too upset about
Right, right. Ultimately, the answer to every question in the world is money. Obviously, they did him the money he was probably worth. They want to spend that money elsewhere. So I know they just increased the salary cap, but these teams they like spending money, especially on the offensive side of the ball rather than the defensive side of the ball.
Yep, 1,000%. Um, the last one that I wanted to talk about was David Montgomery to the Texans. What did you think about that trade?
Man, Sonic and Knuckles, you done broke up the squad, dude. Damn. I mean, that team, that running back room was a lot of fun there in Detroit, man. But of course, the NFL stands for not for long. So you knew that wasn't going to happen. He needed to spread his wings. I like Montgomery there. The only thing that sucks is the offensive line for the Houston Texas is
Yes.
trash. This piece of paper can stop someone more than that Houston offensive line. So Montgomery, I have a feeling you're gonna look like old school Barry Sanders. You're gonna be running backwards 10 yards just to get 2 yards. So but at least he's going to be the bell cow. Look, they just released Mixon. He wasn't going to last. So they had to get somebody. But now you got a little bit of a two-headed monster there, too. So, their young running back is no slouch. So I like Montgomery in Houston. They need to do something to help CJ. Dude, he keeps getting hit. Again, that offensive line. He's going to be like Tua A. And he's going to look like Tua, where you gets knocked out all the time. And you're just wondering, man, is he going to keep getting up? So at least it gives him some help. It gives him a running back that is a stud, that'll get him some tough yards, be able to plow through that offensive line, and then give you the big pump. If he breaks through that offensive line, he is hard to tackle in the secondary. So great pickup for the Texans. They needed some more offense there. I just hope they work on that offensive line to be able to get him free and to save CJ Stroud's career. Detroit, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you go out and pick up one of the other free agents because that Gibbs, he's a monster too. But it worked when you had the dual running back system there. So I'm curious on what Detroit is going to do moving forward to kind of replace that hole. And if Gibbs is going to react to this, that was his dude. Like
Yeah.
those guys had a bond. And
Yep.
then when you break it up like that, I wonder if that's going to have a little bit of an effect on him moving forward. Like you done ripped him in half. So
Yeah.
lots of questions there too.
Absolutely, I agree with everything you just said. It was definitely questionable for why they did that. But I guess that maybe for the money, they wanted to save some money or whatever the case may be. But it can definitely have an effect on their team going forward. But like you said, I love it for the Texans. The only problem is, like you said, that offensive line is horrible. So he's definitely going to be having to deal with some problems. But I also love it because this upcoming season, CJ Stroud is going to have possibly a full healthy team again. He's going to have Tank Dell back. He's going to have Collins back. Now he has a running back. I forgot who they're Schultz. I think they just extended
Yeah, Dalton
Schultz.
Schultz. Yep.
Yep. So they should have their pieces complete. You already have, if not the best defense in the league.
Ooh,
Don't have to do much.
no.
Just have to be good enough. Good enough, and your defense will do the rest.
Right.
But like you said, that offensive line is going to have to step up. They're going to have to address it this offseason as much as they can to help him and Montgomery help that offense have some success. Because if not, it's just going to be the same thing. Defense is going to carry them. And that you just definitely don't want that. Is there any other trades or any other sports topics that you wanted to talk about before we got out of here?
We'll definitely enjoy everything you're doing. So I appreciate it. Again, much love. I appreciate you having me here. Very cool. I've been checking you out on social media here. And you've been doing this 1v1 thing where you got the old heads versus the new heads. So
Right.
that's one of the things that I actually have some here I want to hit you up with because you've been posting some stuff here, where you got someone going against somebody else. I think you had Larry Bird versus Kevin Durant. And, so, I mean, there were some tough ones that you had. So I want to throw some at you. So I want to put you on the spot. Like, I know it's your show, but, I gotta throw something in here a little bit here, man. So I'm going to come at you. If you're all right, are you all right with that?
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Okay. So again, guys, I'm a little bit of an old head. I've been around the block. I've been around the sun for 5 decades now. So I've seen a lot of basketball, and so I still live in the 80s, 90s. I'm a 90s hip hop head. So shout out Wu-Tang Clan. You guys got to go out and vote. They're up for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know why they're not in already. Most influential hip hop group in history. So go out and vote for the Hall of Fame there. But I grew up on this stuff, so I'm going to hit you up. We'll start off with the point guards first. Okay. So we're going to go old school. John Stockton and them short shorts versus Chris Paul, even though he just retired now, but someone a little new. So John Stockton, Chris Paul, who you picking?
That's a really good one, and that's actually one of them that I was had in my drafts for my point guards. That is a really good one. John Stockton, the assist and steal leader of all time, and then Chris Paul, one of the point gods of this league. He doesn't.
Yep.
I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for how great he is because of his postseason success. And he's had a lot of unfortunate things.
Yep.
Obviously, I didn't get to watch John Stockton play, but I've seen the highlights. I've seen the records. In a 1v1, I'm going to go with Chris Paul. I'm going with Chris Paul. The reason why is I think even though John Stockton has the defensive advantage, being bigger, slightly bigger. I think John Stockton's 6'1", and I think Chris Paul. So yeah, they're not too much of a difference, but probably lengthwise, John Stockton probably has him on that. But Chris Paul has an amazing offensive bag, and he's a great offensive mind. If I'm not mistaken, he might be rated the number one highest IQ in NBA history, if I'm not mistaken. If not, he's top 5, top 3, something like that. I'm gonna go with him, even though John Stockton is the leader in steals. I'm going with Chris Paul.
I agree with that. I'm gonna have to go Chris Paul too. Look, neither one of these guys had a lot of success in the playoffs.
Yes.
John Stockton had a great career and a longevity. Chris
Yes.
Paul, yeah, you said it, man. He just some bad beats, dude. I mean, just some bad injuries on some suspect teams. But he was the point guard. I mean, he just all around his offensive game, defensive game, both sides of the court. He was the man. And yes, you talk about his IQ. He had court vision for days, like Magic Johnson on steroids. Like he could see everything what's going on ahead of time before like the play even like got to fruition. So it's great. So I definitely like that one. Appreciate you. All right, so let's go a little forward here. I got to throw in there my man, Sir Charles Barkley, the round mound of rebound versus Giannis Antetokounmpo, two-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. So, do you go Sir Charles or do you go Giannis?
Wow, that's a good one. That's a great one. Giannis, a Defensive Player of the Year, obviously, champion, an MVP, size, and then Barkley, size, aggressive, plays both sides of the ball. I'm gonna go with Sir Charles on this one.
Ooh,
I'm gonna go with
okay.
That Sir Charles physicality would get Giannis out of his game on both sides of the ball, and he would get the advantage on that one. Even though Giannis would give him hell on that other side because Giannis is he's not called the Greek Freak for nothing.
Right.
He's huge, and Barkley would definitely struggle with that a little bit. But I think again that the physicality that Barkley played with, he's one of those guys that grew up in your era that played that real physical basketball. So I think he would be able to get Giannis out of his game and make it a tough one and get the edge. So I'm going Sir Charles.
I like that. That's nice. This was a tough one even for me to come up with because he's my number 2 on guys, great players that have never won a chip. My man Patrick Ewing's number 1. I much love Patrick. Man, I wanted you to get a chip, but between Jordan and the Rockets, I don't want to dig up old wounds. But I'm Charles Barkley, dude. When you watched him play his offensive game for a big dude, he had some of the best moves and feet. He could score anywhere on the court, whether it was with the 76ers or playing on them Suns teams. I get the slight edge to Charles. This would be a nice one, but I think Charles being a little, I don't want to say dirty, but a little more physical, I think would definitely mess Giannis up because some of these new heads aren't used to being that physical and pushed around and knocked down. Although Giannis, he done played in the European League. They're a little more physical over there too. So he might keep it close, but I agree with you. I got to go Charles on this here because Charles had an MVP too, man. He was an amazing player, guys. If you haven't seen Charles Barkley, go back and look at some old film of him, man. He was ridiculous. I got to go a little small forward here. I'm really pulling out the bag now. Here, let's talk Dr. Julius Irving, my man, Dr. J. Love me some Dr. J versus Kawhi Leonard.
Ooh, Dr. J versus Kawhi Leonard. Oh, man. I'm going to give the edge to Kawhi Leonard because he's a guy that still surprises me, still shocks me of how good of a offensive player he is because of how much we've seen him be a defensive guy for so long. And now he's not so much that guy because of obviously the injuries, but it seems like it's unlocked his offensive bag even more because he's been on a tear, keeping this Clipper team alive in the playoffs. Like they just lost James Harden. There's not much to expect from this Clipper teams, but especially how they started. They were like 3-20 to start the season, and now I think they're. Let me see what their record is real quick. I think they're not even just in the play-in. I think they're in the actual playoffs. Let me double check that real quick. No,
They
so
in
they're
that
outside of it.
they in that ninth
They're at
slot.
their ninth slot.
Yeah.
Let's see. 30 wins. The Lakers are at 38 at the six, so they're a few games out of that. But even that being still said, I thought they would be. I'm surprised that they're even that good because of the horrible start they had.
Right.
And so we're talking about them both being in their prime. Kawhi playing both sides. Yeah, I don't. That's a tough one, but I'll go with Kawhi mainly. I guess because I'm more familiar with him as well. I didn't get
Right.
to see Dr. like that, but I watched Dr. J's game, and it's just amazing. There's hard to stop someone that can bounce like that. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna give the slight edge to Kawhi, but I could definitely be wrong on that one.
I can agree with that. Look, I love me some Dr. J. He was one of those guys. You look at some of the old school basketball players. He was ahead of his time. He was one of those
Yes.
guys. I think if you dropped him in the NBA today, he would be phenomenal. But I got to give the edge to Kawhi. As much as I'm not a huge Kawhi fan, I don't like a lot of the off the court stuff. The attitude, the last few years, the Brooklyn fiasco and the Spurs fiasco, and some of that stuff just rubs me the wrong way. But his offensive game is ridiculous. He does play defense too. He brought Toronto a chip. I mean, Toronto. I mean, Canada. You got him a chip. So I got to give the nod to him. So, but I like that. Good answer. Good answer. All right, let's jump in the center here. This one I kind of had to dig a little deeper. I wanted to be a little different. So I'm going to go way back. I'm going to go Bill Walton versus
Ooh.
Nikola Jokic.
Now I've heard. Obviously, I didn't get to watch Bill Walton, but I've heard a lot of great things about Bill Walton, and the fits that he used to give guys back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, Nikola Jokic. That's you know what? In a one-on-one setting, that's a little different because Nikola Jokic, he's best at giving the ball, getting his team involved, and doing all
Right.
the offensive work and stuff like that. Not that he doesn't have an offensive game, because he definitely does. Some of the shit that he makes, I'm just completely amazed. Like, how does he make some of these crazy shots? But
Right.
that's just his team. Like, that's how he plays. So he's used to making these wild shots. So, oh man, that's a good one. Bill Walton might have the edge on that one because that's not really Nikola's game, but he could stretch out Bill Walton because I don't even think they had the three in Bill Walton's era.
No, they did not. No three
right.
then. That was it.
Yeah.
It was deep twos. two from deep don't sound the same.
Right, exactly. Nikola Jokic can't jump over a piece of paper. So, that's a good one. I think I'm gonna just give the Nikola the edge just because of his amazing 3-time MVP-ness. So, but I've heard some amazing things about Bill Walton, so I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Walton actually would beat him.
I got to see the tail end of his career when he was with the Celtics, but his feet were already gone by the time I got to see him. But if you look at some of the highlight stuff, Bill Walton was ridiculous. Portland Trail Blazers, got them a chip. He was an offensive juggernaut. But I got to give the nod to Nikola Jokic. The dad bod god, to me, is the best basketball player in the world right now. For what he can do offensively, passing the ball, like to see a guy that big, and you would think he looks awkward, but he doesn't move awkward.
Right.
Like you would think like he would lumber and just kind of be in the way, but no. And some of the passes he makes, I mean, for a big dude to make some passes he's ridiculous. So I got to give slight nod to Nikola Jokic. He does have a chip, same as Walton, but his Nikola Jokic offensive game just a little bit deeper in the bag than Bill Walton. But I appreciate you doing that with me, man. I had to hit you up here a little bit and kind of stump you on some of these here. So I'm glad I gave you some good ones. I mean, I wanted to make sure I showed out here on your show for you.
You sure did, man. Thank you for adding that. That was dope. That was a lot of fun, and I appreciate that you enjoy the content and you enjoy doing that. So I'm definitely going to keep that going. Hopefully we get more people to enjoy it and we blow it up as much as possible. But Jason, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to say before we go? Make sure you shout out your podcast and all your social medias again so people can find it.
Again, man, blessed to be on here with you, man. Super excited. Thank you so much. You're doing big things. Keep doing what you're doing. Love you on here. Social media is blowing up. Keep doing it. But yeah, check me out on the Boom Broadcasting Network, guys, YouTube channel. 3 from Deep. That's my NBA show. 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays. I drop at 12 o'clock, but you can watch it anytime on demand on the Boom Broadcasting Network. Check me on my socials. But I appreciate it, dude. A lot of fun. Let's go. Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
Go Knicks. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Calenzo, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, 2 for 2. I said it correct.
You got it. You got it. It's all good.
Calenzo, guys, from 3 from Deep, an NBA podcast. Make sure you guys go follow, subscribe, like, share the whole 9. And it's your boy Jones, my guy Jason, Jones for Sports. We make sports better. Peace.
What it is, y'all, it's your boy Jones. And if you want updates to all the Jones for Sports content, I'm going to need y'all to...
Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
You heard what she said.
Push the goddamn button.